3, 2, 1. Yikes. So let's jump you back in time and show you guys the miscellaneous stuff I did to the car for that actual first start, the additives I added to the oil, that kind of thing. Long process getting to this point. I'm excited to show you guys, so let's jump into it. These brakes ain't gonna bleed themselves. Let's freaking get to work. All of the hardware that's steel on here is completely rusted. I have a seeking suspicion that I'm gonna have a difficult time getting all these bleeder valves open, but we'll see. Let's get to it. Hey, actually not too bad at all. As far as I know, because this car has an ABS module, we bled through my Autel scanner here because it's electronic. I've been having to learn a lot on this project. There's a lot of first times for a lot of stuff on this project. The ignition may need to be on for this, unfortunately. So I'm gonna set you guys down right here and you guys can listen to all the nice noises it makes. Oh, that's the windshield wiper. I'm an idiot. Wow, I'm stupid. How about that? At this point, I once again run into the most aggravating problem of this entire project. Does it not have freaking Mclaren in its service database? Are you serious? Even with my $2,500 Autel scanner, there were no Mclaren service functions it could perform. I guess that's why Mclaren recommends you tow it to their dealership all the time. So we went ahead and just bled the brakes the old school way. And we'll do it one more time. And release and push. Oh yeah, nice and clear now. That's great.
Good.
All right, and release. Let's go on to the next one. It's coming up really slowly on this side. I guess just push and let's just go all the way to the floor.
I'm all the way.
Like there's no air bubbles in it, but it's just coming out really slow. It's gonna unscrew it all the way and see if. Go ahead and push it.
Oh, that felt more.
Yeah, see that? Okay, so this bleeder valve must be plugged. Oh yeah, little pieces of sand and pebbles and stuff coming out of it. And push. Yep, works now. And release. Go ahead and push the brake. Oh yeah, that stops great. I'll save you some time and speed ahead the process of the rear brakes. A couple notes about bleeding Mclaren brakes specifically is that there's actually 2 bleed valves per caliper. The front 2, I didn't realize that, so we had to go back and bleed the last 2 on the front again. Also, the valves are a bigger size than a standard car. I had to find a larger diameter hose to fit onto them. Fun fact, these carbon ceramic rotors and calipers are massive. So yesterday we went ahead and bled these brakes the old-fashioned way. Luckily that was easily done. I don't know why everyone's so stuck on doing it with a scanner electronically, as if that's the only way to do it. But those brakes are rock solid now. With the consideration of driving this thing today, there is a sketchy thing I need to show you. But before we do that, I'm gonna add an additive into the engine oil, and we're gonna do a full engine flush on this thing first to get all that sludge out. So let's do this first, and then we'll go over the concerning thing I found. By the way, I said the door latch was going out, and it's actually working again. So it pops right open now. I don't know what would cause that. It's probably gonna be an intermittent problem if I had to guess. One of my favorite things to do on this good green earth is pop that freaking engine bay. And because of the sludge and the horrible condition of the oil in this, or that was in this thing, I'm gonna go ahead and do an engine flush first. So I'm gonna be spending a lot of money on oil right now, but this is absolutely necessary for the condition of the oil that we just pulled out. So this is synthetic engine flush, and basically all you do is pour it in the engine oil, and then you let the car idle for like 10 minutes, and then you flush all the oil out and do another oil change. And this will hopefully break up all the sludge and the deposits and everything in the engine that the old oil was creating. I'm still just hoping this engine actually runs right. That's a huge if at this point still, but I'm doing everything I possibly can to make it run right, you know, and not have to engine swap this and just save the car as it is. So anyway, let's get to this and then we'll fire this car up. So let me turn the actual ignition on and we're gonna go ahead and just go through all the faults. So this code I'm really not concerned about at all. Allegedly it has to do with the clock spring and the steering angle. Not worried about that one. Not worried about that one. Not worried about that one, but this one is the one I'm worried about. Transmission fault. So let me grab the Autel scanner and see what the actual transmission fault is, and we're gonna clear all the codes hopefully on it right now. This thing may run, but it just might not drive. Besides that, we've got a climate control fault. I'd never seen that one before, but that's pretty much it. Anyway, so let's get the Autel really quick and see if we can read some actual codes on this thing. So we're reading the codes for the first time after the actual repairs. So this should be exciting. Should have a lot less codes on it, hopefully, than it did before. So I will say, as far as the steering angle sensor, I remember V-Tuned when he was rebuilding his 720S, he took it over to Supercar Garage and he actually showed how to fix the steering angle sensor position. So I'll look at doing that soon as well. But I just want to run this thing and flush the engine, make sure everything actually works first, and then I'll get into all that little stuff. Okay, so many faults. We have 100 DTCs. We go ahead and quick erase all this crap. See how many we actually have left. Steering angle sensor passed no fault. How about that? So maybe we can actually fix it. But the clock spring, I'm sure, is completely effed, I would think. Engine control module, misfires detected. Powertrain and chassis control module, 8 faults still after clearing all the codes. Gear reverse and 4, position sensor rate high. 3 and 1, position sensor rate high. 5 and 7, position sensor rate high. 2 and 6, position sensor rate high. Vacuum pump relay drive circuit open. Downshift switch signal high. Active. What does that even mean? Upshift switch signal high. Active. Lost communication with electrically powered hydraulic steering module. Active. I can actually check to make sure all that's plugged in on the steering pump module. Make sure that's all good real quick. Instrument cluster, 2 faults, but it says please refer to service manual, so probably nothing really there. No communication with rear antenna. Tire pressure sensor fault, no communication with rear antenna, which I know actually the skid plate that the people just ripped off trying to work on this thing before me, that had a TPMS sensor on it, and of course they took that and didn't put it back on. So I need that under panel with the TPMS sensor on it, then that fault will be gone. Body control, vehicle configuration inconsistent. That's not good. Body control module has missing messages and a couple of different little things. Unit not configured. That's the second unit not configured. I wonder what that means. There we go. My only concern here is with the powertrain and whatnot. It seems like if it runs, it'll clear a lot of these misfire codes that are active, and some of the sensor rate high values will probably reset in the transmission, hopefully. So we'll just have to get this thing fired up, and hopefully a lot of this stuff goes away. This thing has not been run or operated for more than 10 seconds in, you know, a long time, 2 years or more. So that's the codes we have. Let's just fire this thing up at some point and just let it run. I almost forgot to put the most expensive fluid in here. So as far as the fuel door, I can't seem to actually get it open. I don't want to like force it. It looks like something's stuck pretty good in there. This is one thing I wouldn't want to have to replace. So I should be able to just pop it open, but I can't. Can't imagine there's something electronically holding it. It just should be a hinge now. I'll research off camera again real quick. There's a pretty extensive forum post that this actually is lock actuated with the lock and unlock of the actual car. A lot of people who are unlocking the car, this still doesn't unlock. So the dealership said to just push down on it and toggle between lock and unlock until hopefully it opens, and if not, tow it to a Mclaren dealership. We'll try that. So I'm gonna roll the windows up first just to make sure the alarm doesn't start going off. Passenger side doesn't. Why does the door module not work on the passenger side? What the heck? All right, this is gonna be a bit loud probably. Yep. Forum I was reading said the dealership told them that the labor involved in getting the fuel door cap removed if it doesn't open, since there's no manual release for that either, the labor involved would be taking the fender liner out to access 3 bolts holding the cap on. So since the fender liner's already out, I'm just gonna take the wheel back off and see if I can access this from the bottom and remove it that way. And the dealership said that there's a pin that actually actuates and whatnot. You can take the pin out, and so you can always just use the fuel door as a normal fuel door. It just won't lock when the car locks, but gas siphoning is a crime from like the 70s, so I'm not worried about it. So I'm probably just gonna take that pin out if I can't get this to open normally with a freaking unlock button on the remote. So off with the wheel again. Another dumb problem like this, really. Okay, there's 2. WTF, where's the 3rd one? All right, there's 3. All right, so this is the underside of the fuel door. Obviously you can see the filler neck here. I took the 3 freaking screws out and it's just not, I think I have to actually take the hoses and everything off and pull it off. So honestly, I'm just gonna take this off and I'm just gonna fill it from the tube itself. There's a hose clamper right here, which I can unscrew easily. Then I can worry about getting the actual filler door off after I can verify the car actually runs. That's the story here. Freaking dumb, dude. It's loose. I just don't know how to get it out. Yet another stupid problem from Mclaren. It's gonna take a million years with these little safety nozzles. The EPA would be in tears watching what I'm doing. Yeah, we're gaining fuel, that's good. I'm gonna put a little bit of fuel system cleaner in it as well. This is the last step before we fire this thing up, and I'm getting really nervous right now. This could go extremely well or extremely horribly. I have no idea. Stuff smells vaguely like oil, but it definitely has a sharper edge to it, that's for sure. Synthetic engine flush by STP. I guess there's nothing to it but to do it, dude. Kind of has the same viscosity as oil, kind of same look. I think it says add the whole bottle to 5 quarts, but let me double check. Add entire bottle to old engine oil. I need to burp the coolant too, so maybe I start this thing up and do all of that right now. Okay, we are officially ready, I think, to crank this thing up. Very nervous. I'm gonna get some fire extinguishers and a hose and everything nearby. I would not want this thing to like catch fire in my garage. That would not be good. That's what we're working with, so. All right, I'm getting in the car. I'm just gonna start the ignition first. You guys can see we have more fuel than we used to have. Bunch of codes. Oh. Man, am I nervous, but I'm gonna go ahead and just hit this start button. We have lots of good brake pressure. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. It's shaky. It's shaky. This thing rumbles, that's for sure. Wow, let's go see how it looks. Yikes. Yikes. The coolant looks good. Wow. Whew, my heart's racing right now. Holy crap. Sheesh. Let's see if we have any leaks under here. Transmission is leaking, but that's because the drain plugs are all screwy. Actually, I don't know what that is. Let's see what we got on the display here. It's idling pretty nicely though. I don't see anything super alarming here. While it's on, PCC fault, stop vehicle. I have no idea what that means. It's gonna click through pretty much everything here. Battery management active. There's a lot to take in right now, that's for sure. At least the thing started up. The engine didn't lock up. That's all I care about. Oh, let's take a look. All right. Everything looks normal. There's a little bit of smoke, but nothing crazy. Kind of what I was expecting. Looks like it's idling all right. The engine seems strong still. Sounds good. Looks like the coolant is probably all burped up, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put the cap back on. It seems like it runs pretty smoothly though. I cannot believe I'm hearing it idle right now. Wow. I mean, we have a transmission fault still, which I might just see if it'll go into gear right now. There's no reason not to, but so far it looks like it's all go. Water is getting up to temperature. Oil is also increasing. All right, so it's just cycling through all the faults still. I guess just a couple of them came back. But so far, looks like the oil and water is going up to temperature slowly. Dude, everything seems normal in here. I'm very happy that is the case. Hitting the freaking start-stop button, I had no idea what to expect. Whew. This is good news so far. It feels really nice and smooth now. Steering is, I'll have to definitely put some fluid in that and figure out steering. Definitely not assisted right now, that's for sure. Brake pressure seems good. I guess for scientific purposes, I'll see if it'll go into reverse first. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Sure did. and drive. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, I guess we're good. It's currently in drive. So anyway, I'm gonna put it back in neutral, just keep it here until we actually change the oil again. Oh man, I still don't know what to say. I'm speechless right now. I got nothing, dude. I'm just listening to it idle right now. It sounds healthy and it sounds powerful, dude. I didn't know if I would like the sound of this car being a V8 coming from a V10. It's actually not bad. It sounds powerful. It does. It doesn't sound like a muscle car V8. Water and oil are going up to temperature. I think that's about where they'd probably want to be realistically. I don't know why this is flashing red over here. Not sure. Oh, it's probably because parking sensors are offline. I bet you this would stop flashing if we got up to speed where the parking stuff is not active. Wow. I can't even explain how I'm feeling right now. This is incredible. Do you see any leaks? No leaks? Oh, dude. I cannot even explain, put into words right now how I'm feeling. This is incredible. This is insane. It idles nicely. There's nothing that I'm seeing that's a huge concern. Water's at temperature, oil is almost at temperature, and it's just idling. There's no smoke in here. It feels normal. I put it in reverse, goes in reverse, drive goes into drive. My heart is still pounding. Insane. I cannot wait to drive this thing. It's been 4 months, guys. 4 months waiting for this point. Wow. No anything wrong so far. Consistent. Bro, I can't even put into words how excited I am right now. This is a great test. We've been idling for about 10, almost 11 minutes at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill it and do an engine flush. Wow. I can't even explain to you guys how thrilled I am about this. Oh my gosh. We have a running Mclaren, everybody. Just idled this sucker for 11 minutes straight. I'm thrilled, dude. It fired right up a lot faster than last time, that's for sure. And it wasn't, engine didn't lock up. That's all I care about. Let's get this oil drained pretty quickly here. So let's get to that. So the fans are still running. I don't know what that actually like means. There were a lot of new codes on the screen when it was actually running, like PCC fault. I had never seen that one before. There were a couple other faults I had not seen before, but man, it actually fired up. It actually ran, and it ran smoothly too. What a relief. And it went into reverse and drive. I bet you this thing runs and drives, dude. I'm so excited. So right now we'll change the oil again, and then we'll look into some of the codes and see if we can get this thing actually figured out, why things were happening and how to fix it. As if 3 sequences of checking the oil hasn't been enough for you, here's another one. Luckily this time, the oil coming out doesn't look like cottage cheese. All right, take 2. Let's see how this oil looks. Yeah, oh wow, yeah, that's, that's dirty. That's how oil should look. That's freaking nice. First turbo return line, let's see how it looks. Oh great, looks just like normal oil. Little sludgy for sure, but yeah, that's a great thing we did an engine flush, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and pop this sump drain back open as well. Yeah, nice fresh looking oil. New OEM filter going in. Found what looks to be some kind of like milkiness, like water mixing with oil. It looks like, in my opinion. I don't really know what to make of it just yet. It could just be from the engine flush additive that I added. That stuff actually has diesel fuel in it and all kinds of other stuff. And so maybe it just creates this little light layer in the oil. That's one thing to note at this point, I guess, after the first oil change, but the rest of the oil looked okay, so I'm not worried about it just yet. Anyway, in with the new filter. It is such a huge relief knowing the engine runs and that the work to this point has been worth it. Even just hearing the car start and run was just such a blessing this week. I took this time to refill the engine once again with oil, add some synthetic oil treatment, and sit on the couch with my coffee, reading the fault codes on the car. Freaking massive headache today, but I'm gonna keep working on this thing. First things first, there were a couple modules that I wasn't communicating with, the door module and the power steering module. The wires for the computer are disconnected. That's why it's not working. Well, easy fix. But now that this car actually runs and we can legit fire it up anytime we want to and do any maintenance and service on it with the engine running that we need to, we can do this kind of stuff. So first things first, let's just get to repairing the things that we know it needs and we can easily do, like this power steering pump, and then I'll look into the door module and getting that reconnected back up. So the car wasn't reading the steering pump module and I found the connector unplugged. I know I plugged it in, so maybe there was just too much tension on the wires and it popped back off. Who knows? I couldn't quite get my hands in there, but my wife was able to get it pushed back on and it worked just fine after that. I also took the liberty of resetting the oil interval for the first time in 5 years. The second module not being read was the passenger door. This was frustrating because I had just changed the door panels out and intentionally disconnected and reconnected all the modules in the door to avoid this exact issue. So I'm really not sure why this is the case, and I still haven't figured it out. And I just scanned the hydraulic pump and it reads just fine, and it has one code and plausible signal received from the steering angle sensor. Obviously because somebody effed the clock spring up on this car before I got it. So the steering pump is working fine. And so let's get this car in the air again and see if we can bleed the hydraulic system. And then just out of curiosity, I'm gonna see if it still has the transmission fault that it was throwing. Power steering, airbag, should be right here, yep. It's still there. From this moment on, I'd definitely like to just have the top down if possible, just to make it a more friendly work environment in here. Open doors to complete roof operation. I don't know why I have to open the doors. Okay. Before it goes too far, I'm gonna see if I can fix this weather strip that gonna throw some double-sided adhesive on it temporarily at least. Crazy how much of this car is just glued together. Favorite part of this car for sure. So sick. So sick. Freaking sweet. Let's go, dude. Oh man, I can't wait to drive this thing. I really can't wait to drive this thing. So sick. Just small little things still to figure out. Okay, that's full lock to the right. It looks like these radiators are actually designed to have the wheel kind of tuck in right behind them. Yeah, looks like we're good, dude. I think this is stock. I think this is the stock wheel size as the McLaren 650S. So it looks like we're gonna be good with these wheels. Full lock to the left. Looks like we're gonna be good. All right, nothing to it but to do it. Let's see if it works. Yeah, the fluid level is going down. Guess let's just keep doing it. Oh wow, what the freak? Now it's overflowing. Current situation, you saw me doing back and forth and whatnot. It wasn't really going down. It went down at first, but then it just remained level and it wouldn't go down anymore. It looks like there's a bubble or two coming out of here still. Yeah, there's a bubble or two coming out of here. Now it's going back down a little bit. With the cap on here, I'm gonna go ahead and try cracking this valve. I'm gonna run through it one more time, see if that does anything. To bleed the hydraulic system allegedly you're supposed to also go through the different hydraulic system functions. And so we currently have aero and drivetrain. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just try to switch. Then it says PCC degraded, which is a hydraulic system allegedly. Then it just shuts off all of the aero and active like suspension controls. I'm definitely gonna have to figure this out at some point, that's for sure. I think I'd feel a little bit wrong if I didn't give you guys at least a few revs before the end of this video. It fires up so much faster now, I love it. So much better. All right, here we go. It definitely needs an exhaust, that's for sure. Gonna put it in track mode, see if that lifts the 4,000 rev limit. Oh wow, yeah it does. Okay, okay. Not bad, dude, not bad. Normal mode, 4,000. Sounds pretty good though, not bad for a stock exhaust. I think I'll like this car actually. See if we have any miscellaneous leaks after all that pizzazz. We're good, dude. We're freaking good. No leaks, nothing. We're up to temperature. We've run this thing. We've started it several times. This is the oil that's gonna live in it for at least a little while. That is so sick. This car is shaping up to be one of the coolest redemption stories. This car was abused, totaled twice, and neglected for years until it found its way to my garage. What an awesome journey so far, taking such a beautiful vehicle in such a poor condition, and hopefully getting it back on the road in the next couple weeks, looking even better than it did before it crashed. Although it still has every big fault on the display that I could imagine. It's only a matter of time before I'm in the driver's seat, making this whole adventure worth it in the end, and be a testament that anything and anyone can bounce back from the worst situations. So now let's look into hopefully an easy fix that releases a lot of these major faults. I think the majority of my issues actually stem from the clock spring, which was probably rotated way beyond its limits. When I got this car, the steering was disconnected from the actual rack, and so the steering wheel was just free spinning in there. So I'm sure the clock spring, if nothing else, is shot. So with the battery disconnected, I'm gonna take the airbag off and hopefully the steering wheel off tonight as well, and actually see if the clock spring is like physically damaged. And two sides done. Wow, that's pretty melty. I'm definitely gonna have to get a whole new module. Wow. Not sure if you guys can see that, but the plastic actually looks like it's physically melted onto the like connector. Wow, you see there's that little wire I'm talking about. This looks like it was thoroughly effed in the accident. That is the old crusty airbag right there. I do have a new one. All right, let's get this steering wheel out. So it just barely hit me how close we are to finishing this thing up. Come to think of it, the only thing we need to fix now until this car is 100% running and driving, until the limp mode is off of this thing and all of the big faults on this thing are cleared. 20-minute job. And $500 is this clock spring. This one is obviously completely broken. It just free spins forever. But I mean, it's completely busted. And this is the thing throwing all the codes. Through the clock spring, we actually get all of your paddle shifter functions, which is necessary for the transmission to function correctly, which is the transmission fault we're getting, I believe. And steering angle, if it's not correct with the clock spring, will also throw us all the hydraulic faults, all the power steering faults, and the limp mode fault. So when the new clock spring comes in a couple days from now and we swap it back in, line everything up, and then put the steering wheel back on, we start the car, we do all the way left, all the way right, it should clear almost every single code that we have on the display. Just by doing that, and having the paddle shifters reading correctly. I think this car is gonna be 100% ready to drive. I cannot believe we're saying that. That's so freaking sweet. It's been so long coming for this. Last fun fact before the video ends, I got the parking sensor harness here. The harness itself was like $230 or something, I believe. But the parking sensors are actually Mercedes ML series parking sensors. I got all 4 of these for 25 bucks, and you can see they clip right in. So I assume these work perfectly fine for this car. Each of the parking sensors made by Mclaren are 125 each used. These were all 4 for $25 brand new. To my door, like there was free shipping on that too. A lot of the sensors on this car are Mercedes specific sensors. I think that's why McLaren keeps all of their parts and everything so like closed fist, because they don't want you to know that it's actually a lot of Mercedes parts. And just like that, we've reached the conclusion of this video. But before you're dismissed, I got a couple of announcements. First of all, while we're waiting on the clock spring, I'll probably knock out a couple e-bike review videos to get a little bit more cash in the bank. We just bought my wife a bigger car for the children, and I just paid taxes. So a couple more e-bike reviews coming at you guys. But when I'm done with the reviews, I let these bikes go for a heavy discount. So if you're in the market for an e-bike, hit me up. I got some I need to sell quick. Second announcement is, in the meantime, while we're waiting for the clock spring to arrive, I can start throwing body panels on this thing and actually start body work in the meantime, now that we know that this thing runs. So next video, it may not be the first drive. It may actually be the body work being finished. I'm not sure yet. Then I can get some quotes for paint and figure out how the paint match is going to work, since I don't actually have a color code for the car. And the color match that I bought for this car that was correct, as far as I know, was definitely not a match. So it's gonna be a hard paint to match doing it by myself. So I may just reach out to my normal paint shop that I used to get all my paints at. They're really good guys, but I've never hired them to do an actual paint job, so I don't know what they would charge for something like this. So it may just be better for this project. If they're gonna price it right, I might just give it to a shop to do it right the first time. And then if they mess it up, it's on them, not me. I can't believe that we're pretty much on to body work on this thing and that it's almost a fully running and driving car. I did notice a check engine light on the display last time I fired it up, and it just sounds kind of choppy right off the bat. Like, it doesn't sound bad and it runs smoothly, it seems, but every cold start, it feels like there's a little bit of a shakiness to it. And I think the engine light that it's throwing is the misfire code that we read in the past coming back every time you do a cold start. I'm not sure, we'll have to see. Could be the spark plugs are just completely shot. It wouldn't surprise me at all. So I'm just gonna end it there without a cliffhanger this time. You're welcome, you're welcome. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever you guys are at. I hope you guys are enjoying the series still. I know it's been a lot of boring stuff, really. The last couple videos, just like connecting pipes and tightening hose clamps and stuff. Trust me, we all feel it. We all feel it. It's boring at this point. But I cannot express enough how thrilled I am that there was not a leak in this entire system. The entire car, 0 leaks for the whole like 20 minutes I was running and revving this thing. Obviously, I've not put the car under load. I've never driven it hard yet, so a hose clamp could potentially pop off. But I'm just so thrilled there's not a single leak as of right now. Dude, it's just such a huge relief and just a blessing. So anyway, that's pretty much it, dude. I'll catch you guys next time, whether it be the first drive or body work. Thanks for watching.